Happy Friday night, fellow comic book fans. It is time for my Friday night reviews. I know I missed this last week, but I'm back on track this week, and I have 8 different comics to review, and I will let you know what I think of them after the opening. And I'm back. Just got back from the gym a few minutes ago. Gave myself some time to relax, gather my stuff up, and put them in the proper order. And so let's get started. The first comic I have this week would be Faithless #1. If you watched my video, you can see. You notice that I had one of these that was opened and then a regular cover. I stopped by Thursday and picked up an unopened copy just because I figured it would be nice to have an unopened copy. Excuse me. I didn't know much about this or anything about this other than they had the, erotica cover. And yes, I fell prey to it. I'm not quite sure what to think of this. I know this was a kind of a setup issue for the rest of the series, but I've seen much, much better first issues than this one. And this issue, while it has kind of an interesting premise, it's kind of a supernatural witch magic type thing. It was kind of going for shock value, so I'm not quite sure how they're going to go with this and which they're going to do more, the supernatural stuff or the salacious erotic stuff. But I'm probably going to go for a second issue just to see how this works. I'm going to give this a 2.5 out of 5. The Web of Venom Cult of Carnage #1. I have to admit that I am not a big fan of all the Carnage and Venom stuff. I'm aware of Carnage, but I don't know everything that's been going on with him lately. I know who Cletus Cassidy is. I know Carnage, but I don't know. I was kind of trying to figure out what was going on with this because they were going over things that happened before where Carnage had taken over some city and the Avengers came and they got taken over and took Spider-Man to beat him or something, and then this is going on. So I have no idea. Not sure that I'm going to go for #2. It just maybe just because I liked the mystery of what was going on, why all these people's spines are being taken out and all this weird stuff. So I'm going to give this a 2.75 out of 5 just because. Batman #68. Love this cover. But I am really not digging this run with King. It started out kind of strong, but it's just been going downhill fast. This one is it takes place, I think it takes place before the wedding. It's a bachelor party with Lois Lane and Selena Kyle. with Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne doing stuff together, and they have the girls go to the Fortress of Solitude and use robot Superman as strippers and stuff. It was just, yeah. Tom King, no, he's not. Between this and that whole, miniseries going about the murders and the superhero rehab, yeah, I don't know. 2.75 out of 5. The Batman Who Laughs, number 4. It's kind of interesting. You do get to see how the Batman Who Laughs sees in this one. But I don't know. It's just, they're putting way too much of this stuff out way too quickly. They need to spread it out some. Do these things every once in a while instead of just, dark metal Batman Who Laughs stuff every few months. I'm going to give this a 3.25 because it was interesting and it, more interesting than, 68. But, who knows? You have Bubba Hotep versus Ash. And I know this is a different cover than when I did my reviews. Turns out when I was reading it yesterday, I noticed that there was a long cut right along here. I didn't notice it when I picked it up, but it must have been the top copy. And they'd, maybe cut the plastic open to undo it, and it was on there. So I asked them if I could switch it out. They didn't have the original cover that I went with, so I got this one. I really like these things. Really good story. It's fun. It's interesting, So I'm going to give this a 3.75 or 3.5 out of 4. Vampirella versus Reanimator number 4. This was the end of this run. It is by Cullen Bunn, the one of 2 Cullen Bunn books that I picked up this week, and it was a really kind of a satisfying ending to it. I mean, the story was fun, and who was it? It's Blackie Shepherd who does the art on here. Just does an incredible job. I mean, look at this stuff. Look at the art on here. It's kind of black and white with splashes of color in there, and it just makes things stand out so much more. It was a really fun read, and I'm glad that I picked it up. If you didn't pick it up, get it in. Go get the floppies or get the trade. Now for my second Cullen Bunn book of the week, and normally this is the top book of the week when it comes out, but not this week. The Empty Man, number 6. Cullen Bunn. Everything that I've gotten by him, I love. I'm not sure if this is supposed to be a miniseries or not, or turning into, it looks like it might be turning into a maxi series, but it looks like they're getting at least close to either the end of the story or the end of the arc. Really good. Not as good as his Bone Parish, but I really suggest you pick this up if you haven't been getting it. It's a kind of a horror slash commentary on today's society type thing, slash commentary on possibly commentary on religion. I'm going to give this a 4.25. Now, for the last one this week, this was awesome. Batman, or Detective Comics number 1001. It is by Tomasi. Tomasi, I can't remember his first name right now to save my life. But damn it, this guy needs to be on the main Batman title. This guy rocks. This guy is incredible. What he's been doing with these stories lately just is awesome. I think it's the beginning of a new arc. It's, you have a bunch of bats dying, and you're finding out what's going on. Some new villains. You have Alfred helping things out, and Alfred just being Alfred. And this kind of shows in this issue that Alfred is the only person ever who can get away with talking to Bruce Wayne / Batman in a certain way. And he just doesn't put up with either one of their shit. He says what he wants to say. You can just be Mr. Sarcastic and do what the hell, say what he wants to say, and to get a point across, and he gets it across. And this leaves off in a super cliffhanger, and man, I am enjoying this series. He needs to either do both series, Batman and Detective Comics, or take over Batman and let somebody else go with Detective, because he's doing an incredible job. I'm going to give this 4.5 out of 5. Okay, that's it for this week. Happy Friday. Have a good weekend. Let me know what you think, and like and subscribe.